Hey gorgeous, it's Ker-leen. Thank you so much for tuning back into my channel. In today's video, I have a maceration update for you. In this video, I will be sharing how 5 of my Arabian perfumes have macerated or matured over time. I'll be getting a little into performance as well, and I'm super excited. If you want to hear my thoughts, then please keep watching. Hey friend, welcome back. Thank you for taking time out of your day to spend over here with me. So those of you who are new here on this channel, I talk luxury, I do review videos, I share my fragrance journey, and I also sprinkle in a little bit of lifestyle here and there. So if any of those things sound good to you, then I would love to have you here. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and also be sure to turn on that notification bell so you know exactly when my videos drop. All right, let's get into it. The first fragrance we're talking about today is Lattafa's Yara Candy. So Yara Candy has definitely grown and matured with time, and overall I am really enjoying this fragrance. I think this fragrance ended up being very situational for me, and what I mean by that is it is super playful and just candy-like, very girly, very fun. And not only does it have those components, but it is super dense. And I think this is a very beautiful performer. If you're looking for a candy-like fragrance that will project about 4 to 5 hours and that is also very long-lasting, then this is a nice option. So Yara Candy is super duper fruity. It opens up with fruit at the top. It's also very candy-like, and to my nose, this smells like a chewy or a gummy type candy that is covered with sugar. So it does have like this candy vibe. I don't think this smells like strawberry candy per se, but it does smell like a fruity candy. And then it has vanilla, amber, sandalwood, and musk at the base. And on the dry down, this definitely becomes super dense, super creamy, very, very sugary sweet, and vanillic. I love a good edible smelling fragrance. You all know I am a gourmand girly, and this is one of those fragrances that is exactly that. It smells like candy, it smells creamy, it smells sweet, super duper edible. And I think over time this has gotten more hefty and dense, and so it can be too much if you are just dipping your toes into edible smelling fragrances and you don't consider yourself someone that likes gourmand fragrances. So this lasts for so long on my clothes. If I spray this on at night before I go to bed, this will be on my clothing in the morning, and it will still be on my clothing when I take it off to shower and get ready for the day. So this is super duper long lasting. Now, when you first spray this, it definitely projects at more than an arm's length. And I would say it projects that way for about like the first 2 to 3 hours. Then it becomes a nice little scent bubble that wafts around you. So when you walk by people, they will definitely pick this up on you. This fragrance definitely takes you through all of the stages. I get the syrupy sweet fruit at the opening. Then as this begins to dry down, it gets really, really candy-like and sugary sweet. And then it gets creamy and dense and vanillic. So it definitely takes me through all of those notes. Yes, top, middle, and base. I experience all of the phases. And I would say that this fragrance transitions pretty quickly through the top and middle phases. And then those base notes kind of linger with the candy facet remaining through the entire wear. So I think this definitely is long lasting. It packs a punch, especially in those first 3 hours. With time, I feel like this has gotten more dense, more sweet, more creamy, more potent. I feel like the notes have really blended together really nicely to make this stronger for sure. So as far as maceration, I think this one has done beautifully. And I imagine that this one will get even more potent, a little bit stronger, a little bit more creamy and dense as time goes on. I've had this for several months now. I will link the video where I first talked about this in the description box. But yes, this is Lattafa's Yara Candy. The next fragrance I have here is called Pure Ombre by Risala. So I talked about this fragrance a little while back during the summer when when I first picked it up, and I've been letting this macerate and do its thing. However, this one has been ready to go from the start. This was already beautifully blended when I first received it, and so I thought I'd pull it back out to see how it's macerated and to share my thoughts on it, because I think this one is amazing. It's kind of hard to see the font on the bottle there, so I hope you can see that okay. But this is supposed to be a dupe of fragrances like Herba Pura by Xerjoff and the like. This is your fresh, citrus, fruity, and very sweet fragrance that is your quintessential summertime scent. And for me, this one feels like the perfect scent for a Mediterranean vacation. That's what I envision whenever I smell this fragrance. So this fragrance is citrusy. It has like a burst of freshness at the opening. It's also fruity, it's sweet, and I think the fruitiness in here is like the perfect blend. It's more like a candied fruit than like a fresh fruit. And then this is a little bit musky on the dry down. Even though the dry down has that ambery vanilla, it also has like a light musk that keeps this from feeling too dense. And so I think this is the perfect vacation type of scent, but it's also something I can see being worn year round because it has like a really strong base. This one is so good, y'all. So when I first received this one, it was a bit sharper, and I feel like the musk was really musking. It was a lot more musky, but now that I'm smelling it months later, it's better blended. So the fruit and the creaminess, that vanilla, that amber is almost like one with each other. Like I can smell them both on this tester strip. And so that blast at the opening, that freshness, the citrus is fleeting, and then you really get into the fruits. And I also pick up on that creamy aspect of the vanilla and the amber. So this is another one that I feel has gotten better with time. It's been a few months now, so this has definitely had time to sit and just mature, and for everything in this composition to really blend together. And it has matured for the better. It has matured for the better as far as scent. Now, as far as wear time, this one is another one that is super duper long lasting. This will still be on my clothes when I pull them out of the hamper to wash them. And I'm talking maybe like a day later, 2 days later, this will still be on my clothing. This one gives me about moderate projection for about 4 to 5 hours. And then after that, it gets closer and becomes like a scent bubble. But y'all, this is super duper long lasting. So as far as performance, nothing to write home about. This one is not going to be beast mode the entire day, but it is going to give you several hours of a lovely projection, a little bit of a sillage, and it will be with you throughout the entire day. I'm talking 10 plus hours. This is Pure Ombre by Risala. The next fragrance I have here is Caramel Macchiato by Fragrance World. This is another one that I could not wait to pull back out. In fact, I wore it today. This is one of those fragrances I've been waiting to wear during cooler days, and we've had a few cooler days here recently, so I have been super duper excited about this one. I wore it today and I have some thoughts. This one has been macerating for several months as well. I think I purchased this one during the summer, and so it's definitely had some time to do its thing, and it is beautiful. I have read that this one smells a lot like the original Lattafa Khamra, and while I don't own that one, I own Khamra Kawa. I do think that this one shares a lot of the same notes. So it has the dates, it has those sweet components, it's warm, spicy. Compared to Kawa, I think this one has a little bit more sweetness, but I think Kawa is a much better performer. So Kawa is your beast mode, 10 out of 10 type of fragrance. It will project for hours on hours on hours, whereas this one projects for maybe about the first 3 to 4 hours, and then it becomes a scent bubble. It wears a little bit closer. Like I said, it's a little bit sweeter. It feels a little bit more approachable. And similar to Kawa, I think this one is perfectly unisex. Caramel Macchiato also has this added coffee component, and the coffee here is different from a fragrance like Lattafa's Khamra Kawa because that one has a more Arabic smelling, feeling coffee. This one smells more like a cappuccino as listed in the notes. So it's a frothy, milky, creamy type of coffee note as opposed to a dark, strong coffee like in Kawa. This one also has lovely base notes, which definitely take over as this dries down. And so you get a lot of sweetness, a lot of like dense stickiness in the opening, and that same sweet stickiness on the dry down. Y'all, the opening of this is everything. I absolutely love the opening of this. For me, although there are no spices listed in the opening notes, I feel like the opening is a little spicy. It gives like this hint of cinnamon mixed with maybe cloves and nutmeg. That's the type of spice I pick up when I first spray this out. And then something I noticed today was the cedarwood and the patchouli come through at the mid. And they don't come through in like this sharp, harsh, overpowering way. They come through in a way that gives this fragrance like more body, more heft, and more nuance. I feel like they add complexity to this fragrance, and to my nose this one comes across as niche. I really do think it smells very beautifully blended, and those middle notes give this fragrance a little bit of something interesting. Those middle notes are also what makes this fragrance very unisex, so I can see anyone wearing this fragrance and enjoying it. The patchouli is not harsh, strong, earthy, or overpowering in any way. And the cedarwood is a wood that, to my nose, I perceive it as like a crisp wood. So it's not like this deep, dark wood. It's a very light, bright wood. So this fragrance does maintain a little bit of brightness as it begins to dry down. But then, as this fragrance continues to dry down and those base notes start coming through, the caramel and the vanilla is everything. I absolutely love the dry down on this one. There is amber on the dry down, but I don't really pick up on the amber as much as I pick up on the caramel and the vanilla. Like I said earlier, this one, although it's long lasting, it projects for maybe about 4 hours where people will smell you, and then it wears closer and it becomes more of an intimate scent bubble. So this one does not project as far for as long as some of the other ones that I mentioned so far, but it is a beautifully long-lasting fragrance nonetheless, and one that I cannot wait to get more wear out of. I will be wearing this by itself because it is perfect on its own, but I also cannot wait to layer this one, and I will definitely be back with my layering combos because I think this one is going to layer very nicely. So again, this is Caramel Macchiato by Fragrance World. This next fragrance is Afnan's La Fleur Bouquet, and I picked this one up off of a recommendation by one of my subbies, and I think I picked this one up around the summer, maybe spring. Summer. So I have had this one for several months now, and I definitely have some thoughts. So this fragrance is supposed to be a dupe for Fleur Narcotique by Ex Nihilo, and while I've never smelled the original, this one is absolutely gorgeous. It is the perfect spring fragrance, a quintessential spring scent. And what I love about this fragrance is, although it has floral components, it's not one type of floral over the other. It's a bouquet that has a beautiful assortment of flowers. What's also interesting about this fragrance is it has some fruits and citruses at the mid. So you would normally get like fruits and citruses in the opening and then flowers, but in this fragrance the notes are reversed and you get those flowers first and then you get the fruits and citruses. And then the dry down of this one is a little bit powdery and musky to my nose, but it also has more sweet notes and some more flowers on the dry down. I don't pick up on the wood that they say is at the dry down of this fragrance. To my nose, this does not have like a woody anchor or a woody dry down. This is mostly a fresh, floral, sweet, fruity, citrusy type of fragrance. To my nose, scent-wise, this one hasn't changed a whole lot. It smells pretty much the same as when I first got it. It's fresh, it's floral. I feel like the florals kind of linger for a bit when you first spray this out. You definitely get a nice helping of florals in this fragrance. It's not like one flower over another. There's no flower that really stands out. This is like a beautiful bouquet, a wide assortment of flowers, and you can't really make out one flower from the next. It smells water-like, it smells fresh, it smells very pretty, very feminine. And then the citruses in here are not like a strong, sharp citrus. It's more of like a freshness, almost like a squeeze of citrus in some fruit juice. That's kind of what I'm picking up at the mid of this fragrance. It's a very easy reach type of scent, nothing groundbreaking, but very beautiful for year-round use. This would be perfect for like an office setting because you smell fresh, but it's not like a freshy. It has like a floral component which lends to a more perfumey type of scent, and it has like sweetness, a nice dose of sweetness. So I really enjoy this one. It smells pretty much the same to me, and this was like a moderate projector. Moderate performance, not long lasting in my opinion, but definitely projects moderately for like the first several hours, and then it becomes a close scent bubble type of scent. So I'll be back with more thoughts on this one in the springtime because obviously I won't be wearing it anytime soon. So in the springtime, I'll be back with another maceration update on this one when I get to wear it out and really test the longevity and the performance a little bit more. So this is La Fleur Bouquet by Afnan. And the last fragrance in this video, but certainly not least, is a newbie and a love, Empire Victor by Lash. And this is the new formulation. So this fragrance, y'all, is finally back on Amazon. I will link it in the description box. I'm not sure how long it's going to be in stock on Amazon, but several of you mentioned you were able to snag a bottle when I posted the link about a day ago. So let's see how long this one stays in stock. It's just so delicious smelling. It smells like a whipped citrus infused frosting. There's a little bit of like this chalkiness, like that chalky candy that kind of melts in your mouth. There's that aspect to this. So it's powdery in that sense, but it's also sweet and creamy, yet it feels very whipped and light. And that's what I love about this one. So picture like a lemon mousse or the frosting on top of a lemon meringue pie. Picture that frosting and then catching whiffs of the frosting and the pie together. That's kind of the vibe that this fragrance gives. This fragrance has been compared to Yara by Xerjoff, and I do think that's like the closest fragrance to kind of put you in the mind of what this smells like, but it is definitely not a dupe for that fragrance. This kind of stands on its own, in my opinion, at least for the moment. I haven't smelled anything like this as of yet, but I think if you want to imagine what this smells like, you can picture a lighter, more whipped version of Yara by Xerjoff. So y'all, this fragrance, in the short while that I've had it for maybe a few months now, it's gotten creamier, much more creamy, and it is definitely better blended. This one is not a beast mode scent. This one is more of a moderate to light performing fragrance. So after the first 2 to 3 hours, it wears closer to the person and it becomes more of like an intimate scent bubble, but this is very long lasting, and that's why I enjoy this one. So it's a light, kind of whipped, very decadent, delicious, sweet confection-like fragrance, but it is long lasting. This one has stayed with me for at least 8 hours. In my experience, I think this one is really long lasting. So it's a nice one, but it's one that if you really want it to project, you have to overspray. But this one is also one that will be nice to layer. This is Empire Victor by Lash, and it is the new formulation, an absolute love of mine. All right, friend, thank you so much for still being here. We have come to the end of the video. I am so grateful that you are here, and I hope this video inspired you, gave you some information, was helpful in your future purchases, or was at least entertaining for you. If it was any of those things, don't forget to hit the like button on your way out. And also, if you love fragrance content, I make quite a bit of it on this channel, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and also be sure to turn on that notification bell so you never miss another upload. Today, before you click off of the video, I want to remind you that you and only you are responsible for your happiness. No matter what is happening in your peripheral, ultimately you are responsible for finding joy and finding happiness. So don't be moved by the outside world. Don't be moved by what's happening around you. I will be over here doing the exact same thing. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one very soon. Bye.